Okay, this is the second time doing this video. Hopefully we don't do it again. Keyboards, keyboards, keyboards. And we're gonna be modifying. See, we were doing a keyboard mod video. Didn't go so well. Well, I wasn't happy with it. I wasn't happy with the end result or the sound to it. So, we're here again with the Yunzii 2, some Echo keycaps, bunch of stuff to mod a keyboard. So, let's get into it. Okay, let's take two for the second time doing this build. So we're going to be using the Yunzii 2, or Yunzii, I don't know. It's an awesome keyboard, links will be below. It has hot swap switches and Bluetooth, so great bargain. So let's tear it down real quick. There isn't any footage, but it's already disassembled, so let's just get into the mod. The one thing I want to do, I wanted to make a keyboard look like old rusty alien tech, and I've done this before with a few controllers and a computer. So let's get into how that was done. Okay, so I learned a new technique for making things look rusty, which was kind of cool. It's always neat to learn new art techniques. So what I started with using this basically acrylic tin paint, and it has a very metallic finish, but like kind of worn, which was really cool. After this was completely applied and lightly dried, I actually took clay colored acrylic paint and mixed with texture sand to give it a graininess, and then brush that on in corners and like other odd spots where you think rust would look like it builds up. And the technique worked great. It gave this great like brownish like rust color to the whole thing, and it worked out really well. And then I used a third brownish color, like it's a, I can't remember the name of the exact color, but it's an off-white-ish brown color that I mixed with 1 part water, 4 parts acrylic paint, and it gave it just that enough, like it's so it's very loose and very almost dry brushed it onto the top of it to give it that just sheen of rust taking over the whole thing. And after it dried, it came out amazing. And then after that, I added my own alien language on the back of it to give it that aesthetic that came from kind of some kind of alien corporation in the distant past or a distant planet or who knows what. And obviously then added some more rust effects on top of that to see it look like it's embedded into the keyboard housing itself. And at the end, obviously, we added some gloss finish to give it that, to seal everything in, because granted it would look cool if it was just flat, but you don't want it to wear off. It's an aesthetic, it's not supposed to be rusty, it's supposed to look rusty. So, that being said, let's get into the rest of the mod. Okay, so what kind of switches are we going to be putting in this keyboard? We're going to be using Durock T1 amber switches. Now, these are a tactile switch that have 65-gram gold-plated springs in them, but we're going to lube them, obviously. This is one thing that I thought was a kind of a miss the first time we shot this video. Doesn't need a lot of lube. They are tactile switches. You don't need a whole lot. So let's get into that. And what we're going to use, we're going to be using Krytox 205, the viscosity that I like of Krytox. I think it works really well. So let's get into that process, how that's going to be, because it's going to be a lot of switches. Okay, so now let's add to the plate, let's add the stabilizers, which were already pre-lubed from the factory, which is pretty impressive for a $100 keyboard. So we have a few switches holding everything together right now. So let's get the rest of the switches in there and then get some preparation done to the bottom of the keyboard so that we can get this housed and ready to go. So now it's time to add the Bluetooth and USB functionality back onto the keyboard. So we connected to make sure everything still works, but we still got to add something though. We have to add my favorite method. So we're going to add my favorite thing to add to the bottom of the board for it to dampen the sound, which is stuff you put on your window to keep air in for when you put an air conditioner in. This stuff works great. If you ever tried it, try it. As you can see, I didn't add a whole lot of foam, but it dampens it just enough so you don't get any kind of reverberation of sound or anything. Really quiet. Okay, as I was saying, so we're going to be using ACO keycaps. So these are really, really nice, as you can see right now.
Dude, why would you even bother to use the stupid instrument?
Because you can't just take
Because they're stuck in it.
They're really stuck in there.
That instrument don't help.
It does.
There's no grip power on that.
You take one of them out by hand. Okay, one of these.
You just work across the ones you've already done.
Oh my god.
That thing has no gripping power. That's
It
what
does. It goes underneath them.
You're bad at this, Nate.
Don't take them all out. I'm not using them all.
Yeah, fine. Just fine. Be bad at this, you son of a bitch.
Okay, as you can see, everything's together. We have all our keycaps on, and as you can see, I added a little cat paw for our escape key, and kind of looks like a cat or a panda or a skull having earphones for the function key, because why not? So anyway, obviously everybody wants to know what the heck this thing sounds like. It does sound pretty good. The spacebar is better, 100 times better. I want it a little bit better, so I might add a bandage mod, but not in this video. So, but let's get to the sound test though. That's what you're all waiting for. It sounds pretty good. I don't think it sounds as good as the NES keyboard, but it sounds good enough. And I love the aesthetic of an old, looking like an old artifact that's really rusted up, where only part of it's still preserved. Like I said, I still might actually add the bandage mod to the spacebar. I'm really impressed with it. The aesthetic looks great. Has interesting hieroglyphs on the back. What does it say? Well, I might have to reveal someday, but as of for now, that's going to still be a mystery. So we're going to be doing a lot more keyboard videos in the future. We're going to be doing a Halloween one, which is going to be really, really cool. I'm trying to figure out a way to make it look like it's glowing in the dark, but not the whole thing, only parts of it, kind of coming out of the cracks. And we're trying to figure out different ways to make it sound like the loudest keyboard you've ever heard. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're also going to be doing a keyboard, so each person within the Tech Prime Media group is also going to be building a custom keyboard in the coming videos. We're going to be doing a D&D one, which I'm sure you can guess who that was for. And we're going to get into whatever Bazinga is going to be designing. We also got Mr. Johnny Webb who's going to be designing a keyboard. But those are all for future videos. We also have a low profile fighting stick that we're going to be making, which is going to be pretty awesome. And it's going to be a mixed box style controller. And we have a whole bunch more plans. So remember, subscribe, hit that bell so you're notified when these go live.